Ko sa pareha sa dab. Magpaaswat. Picture ko no.
Hala, cutie.
Picture ko no ko ta.
Nakaiya siya sa kahadlo.
Picture ko katong gatas ko.
Nakaiya siya sa kahadlo.
Ina ring pag.
Ay!
Practice lang. Hikam niyo.
Makagigil.
Diri ka. Sige dira na ang go.
Rabbiton Farm is an agritourism site that is unlike anything else in the country. It is a rabbit-themed agri-park in Pamplona, Negros Oriental, with certain parts of the farm inspired by Hobbiton, a fictional setting in the Lord of the Rings universe. The farm is a sprawling 13.5-hectare land. It offers plenty of activities, opportunities to learn about farming. There are 9 agricultural sections in the farm, with most of them having names suffixed with "ton" to match their Lord of the Rings theme. This adds the feeling that visitors are exploring various kingdoms when visiting Rabbiton. But before legs turn weak by touring the farm, cell phone batteries may drain faster as well, as visitors can spend hours getting distracted by one Instagrammable hotspot after another. Rabbiton may look like a rabbit paradise, but underneath it's a cute facade. It's a story of how this agri-park survived both the COVID-19 pandemic and Typhoon Odette. Who would have thought that it was only just a few months or many months ago when the farm almost closed? Rabbiton officially opened just many months ago or years ago before COVID-19 struck the Philippines. The farm managers at that time, Koval Kulif Ballesteros and Catherine Kalisngasan, were relatively lucky considering the Rabbiton remained open. This was despite most hotels and restaurants being closed at the height of pandemic. Their open farm. All the facilities are open. So young capacity are to operate are big compared to hotels and restaurants are closed. But despite being open, they are not having a many visitors. They even considered shutting down the farm if not for the many employees depending on their during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Rabbiton started developing a processed meat products to cope with the COVID-19 pandemic. It was during this time that they had to find a traditional source of income. They started processing their products and sold them through online delivery. They continue to do so until now. They sell processed rabbit meat such as a rabbit sausage, a rabbit chorizo. They offer embutido made from Guinea fowl, meat and processed pork products such as Hungarian herb sausages, smoked hot dog, and ham infused with herbs. Rabbiton also grows a wide variety of herbs which they process into tisane or tea made, which is botanicals that are errant the tea plant. Visitors may purchase tisane made from the blue pea ginger, holy basil, malunggay, lagundi, lemongrass, pandan, rosal, tarragon, turmeric, and spearmint. Some of these have been powdered such as a blue pea, ginger, malunggay, and turmeric. A lot of these herbs can also be purchased at and placed in a pot so visitors can regrow them in their homes. COVID-19 pandemic tested Rabbiton's ability to adapt, but their greatest test has yet to come at that time. The typhoon comes, or then comes the Typhoon Odette. As if the COVID-19 was not enough, Typhoon Odette ravaged the farm in December 2021. Rabbiton's current farm manager, Jonathan Dumont, was set to fly to Paris, France on December 21. A day before his flight, Typhoon Odette reached Negros Islands, diverting Jonathan's plans. Jonathan Dumont is the only son of Paul and Edens Dumont, co-founders of Rabbiton. Growing up in Cagayan de Oro and Bukidnon, Jonathan said that he was exposed to a farming environment. Jonathan is currently a college student prior to becoming a farm manager of Rabbiton. He would visit the farm every summer to get engaged in their livestock business. But it wasn't only until Typhoon Odette that he fully realized what Rabbiton meant for him. Typhoon Odette almost caused the closure of Rabbiton. The day before December 21 flight, the weather in Negros was calm all throughout the day. Perhaps it was a calm before the storm because it was not only the late hours of 10 p.m. that Jonathan faced what perhaps might have been the strongest typhoon he has ever experienced. During the time, the top manager present on the farm were Cliff and Catherine. Catherine said that the experience has been traumatic for her as she has not experienced a typhoon that intense. The wind was at the strongest around 2 a.m. with everyone unable to sleep. Jonathan roamed around the farm with other employees trying to fortify whatever buildings they could save. The storm started subsiding around 4 a.m., letting everyone finally take a breath. The damage Typhoon Odette left on its trail brought Rabbiton down on its knees. During the storm, a tree had fallen to their chicken house, while an acre land where they grow roselle was wiped out. A production area for a roselle was wiped out after Typhoon Odette. Everything was really destroyed. It was also after Typhoon Odette that Jonathan decided to stay in Rabbiton full time. So from cows to rabbits, before transforming into a sprawling agri-park, Rabbiton started as a dairy farm in 2012. The co-founders of the farm, Paul and Eden Dumont, developed the land to raise a livestock and poultry animals. It was not until a Christmas trip to Quebec, Canada, that their farm turned to a different trajectory. The Dumont family went to the restaurant where they ordered a rabbit meat dish. Jonathan said that dish is clearly looked like a rabbit thigh, that the restaurant made no attempt to hide the meat. They were hesitant to take a bite at first, but later found that the dish did not taste different or unsettling. It was during this dinner that Paul Dumont had an idea. This dinner was 5 years ago. Around this time, rabbit meat production wasn't as common as it now in the Philippines. So Paul thought it was a good idea to get into a rabbit production once they returned to the country. In February 2018, the Dumont couple joined a rabbit production workshop under Casey Rabbitry in Amadeo, Cavite, owned by Cliff and Catherine. The Dumont couple were so invested in rabbit production, they invented Cliff and Catherine to teach rabbit production all the way in Pamplona. They became full-time farm managers of Rabbiton by December 2018. Catherine Kalingasan and Cliff Ballesteros oversaw the expansion of Rabbiton. Cliff and Catherine developed Rabbiton into what is now. Their main attractions is the rabbit village, where they have erected a giant rabbit mount called Pablo, which was named after Peter Dumont. There also a Shire Hill, a wide area where rabbits freely roam. There are Hobbit House inspired structures and Shire Hill where a rabbits can shelter in. The area is enclosed by a knee-high fence, so visitors can freely access the area to interact with or feed the rabbits. The area for the rabbits' main production is separated. They called it Rabbit House, which is the production house the size of 2 basketball courts. They breed a variety of rabbit breeds for meat, such as pure New Zealand, California White, American Blue, American Sable, American Chinchilla, and Flemish Giant. They also breed smaller rabbits, such as a Leonhead, Angora, and Rex, which are mostly raised as a pet. Another kingdoms of Rabbiton, and other than the areas of Rabbiton dedicated to rabbits, there are also the portion of the farm used to grow crops and raise livestock. There is the Hobbiton, which is a 2,400 square meter garden with around 150 herbs. A tour guide would go through all the herbs, explaining their culinary and medicinal uses. Nipa hut cottages, locally called payag, around Hobbiton. Visitors may rest here to take their lunch free of charge. Visitors may also harvest eggs at Chiquiton, where more than 200 chickens roam freely. There are around 200 breeds of chickens in Chiquiton, which have originated from different countries. If a visitor had collected all the eggs from the breeds, they would come home with a basket filled with eggs resembling the colors of the rainbow. Jonathan shared that some visitors would wonder if they paint the eggs, but assured that all colored eggs are naturally produced by their chicken. The 3 breeds of pigs are being raised in Piggiton. The farm also produces pork as a section called Piggiton. They raise the 3 of pigs, namely landrace, large white, and native black pigs. There is also a sheepton, where visitors may interact with Dorset sheep and breed that grows their wool downwards. Jonathan said that they plan to raise more Dorset sheep so they could also produce mutton. There are sections of the farm really dedicated to tourism. There is also the Horsiton, an oval track the visitors may explore while riding the horse. There is a landscape area in the middle of the trail where visitors may pose with their rented horse. The Tortleton houses a large species of tortoise called sulcata. There are also tortoises on the farm, particularly the sulcata, a species of turtles that can grow so big that Jonathan said a small kid could ride a full-grown sulcata. Jonathan had initially kept those tortoises as pets, but have that moved them to Rabbiton as they'd gotten too big for their terrarium. Visitors looking to stay longer in the farm may also rent a nipa hut or an air-conditioned room. Much has been said the resilience of Filipinos, but it took courage on the part of the Dumont family to continue a Rabbiton after a back-to-back blows of the COVID-19 pandemic and Typhoon Odette. They have thought that Rabbiton simply as a business venture. Rabbiton may as well no longer exist now. It was through the community they made the Rabbiton remains open despite the odds. For inquiries, contact Rabbiton on their Facebook page.